Then I played a game called Combo Babies.
Off to the YouTube I go.
Now, Combo Babies is a fighting game that has a little.
That's not a game about making Irish twins.
Not quite. It's little cute sprites doing some fights, and they're kind of just like little pixelated characters in a fighting game. Not dissimilar to a bunch of the other simple fighters. So like not Pocket Fighter, Pocket Rumble, for example,
Yeah.
is comparable. Arcus Chroma is comparable. Just one guy making a fighting game and putting the ideas in. And in this case, you can tell within basically 5 minutes that it's like, oh, this guy really likes Guilty Gear. Huge fan. There's a doctor that tosses items, or a bagman that tosses items. There's a big, heavy grappler with a rush and then an air grab, and then there's a character who runs up the walls and stuff. But all in all, it's a pretty fun game with a fairly simple to learn system.
I'm watching footage of this while you're talking, right? And right when you say, "Oh, you can tell he really loves Guilty Gear," I see somebody get a counter hit, and one of the biggest counter words I've ever seen just comes onto the screen in pure white. Counter. It's like
down to the.
No, this guy likes Guilty Gear.
Big fan, clearly a big fan of the Guilty Gear and the Strive. So, it's pretty fun and everything in it is like well thought out. I'd say the characters feel like their move sets are well placed, and whenever there was a character that like I didn't gel with, Reggie was like all in, and whenever there was a character Reggie bounced off of, I was all in. So like there's definitely a nice like variety where it just kind of it appeals to different styles of players and stuff. But the main notable thing, all in all, pretty fun. But the main notable thing is that this is someone who clearly plays fighting games and understands quality of life. Mm-hmm. And I will argue about this till I'm blue in the face, but it's just the most annoying thing that individual games and developers can come up with solutions to make the player's life easier, and then the next person right over that puts out the next fighting game will just completely ignore everything this person did.
It's weird because in a lot of popular genres, like, features are just actively stolen constantly.
Right.
But not in fighting games.
So Fortnite having its Eye of Sauron to steal Apex from under Apex's nose, thus they had to stealth release it, is such an incredibly different world from one where it's like, in a fighting game, it's like, please copy our homework. Make it so that when you set your buttons, the button you touch is the one that you want it to set and not have to scroll through the list. Please copy our homework. And then, whatever developer is like, nah, we're already doing this thing. Hey, can we make it so that the game doesn't pause as soon as you hit the start button? Because every time we have an event, it's happening constantly and causing problems.
Why do you just keep talking to me? I said no.
So that quality of life thing is a real fucking thorn in my side with how there's problems and then you want solutions, but if no game has a solution, it's somehow easier to swallow than if someone already solves it and everyone else is ignoring that solution.
100%.
That's so much worse, and that's why the rollback thing is as bad as it is.
Like,
is because
there's
13 years ago we saw it work.
Where you're like, this is a problem, and then you get to look at 5 different game solutions to the problem, and you're like, none of these are perfect. A couple of them are like good, but they introduce problems of their own. And you're like, maybe it's an unsolvable problem. Maybe there are parts of this design issue that, you're just going to have to take your lumps in some way. With these, it's like, problem's solved. The problem's just solved. It's done.
And then there's stuff where it's like, okay, so this can be implemented, but it's probably really tricky. or it was easier to implement in an older game, and now in the newer one you have to kind of plan for it from the ground up, so it takes a lot more time. And like that is understandable, but I mean, at the very least, especially when you have things like, the developer's backyard, like if you discuss some of these things on a roadmap and go like, okay, like we know these things exist, it would be nice to at least be aware of the fact that like something is coming along down the pipe to just add something that people enjoy. So I'll get into the specifics of this, because Combo Babies is fantastic with quality of life, and it is clearly made by one person who knows the pains of like a fighting game that doesn't feature simple quality of life things.
A lot of that going around. Hey, I made this thing that just fixes a bunch of bullshit.
So the game itself, like I said, very, very straightforward and fun. The training mode is immaculate. So one, you go to training, and you pause the screen. And as soon as you pause the screen, the first thing you see is the move list. It's just there. You don't have to go. It's a part of the pause screen, right? And it ends up being like universal, but like you don't have to think twice. You're looking at the list. You go, oh yeah, okay, that's what I want. All right, back in, right? And then there's obviously like hold start to pause. That's wonderful. And then also tapping start like resets the position, so it's the same button, Mm-hmm. Then you can, obviously display hitboxes, whatever. The frame data, like little bar is there, so that like if you want to see the timing of how fast or slow an attack is, it's all there for you. Information is nice, whatever. That's fine. And it didn't have to sell it to you as a part of a DLC pack. And then you do the trials, right? So there's combo trials for each character. And the combo trials, when you select them, first thing is, as soon as you do one and it fails, as long as you're in combo trial mode, the moment you fail, it just resets the position immediately.
That's pretty nice.
Yep. The whole position resets instantly. No time wasted. You get to just focus on the thing you're trying to do. No pause, restart trial, no wasting time. Right into it, right? Secondly, and most importantly, this is something that I saw on Twitter as an idea. This is the first time I've seen it implemented into an actual fighting game. The combo, while you're doing it, as soon as you start, the buttons are laid out on the right side of the screen like a rhythm game note chart. And you can see them coming down and the moment you should input. And if you follow the rhythm game input note chart, you can do the combo, because it's just like a rhythm game.
Do combo. That's pretty good.
It's beyond pretty good. It's unbelievable. Combos are hard to do. I don't know the timing. What should I do? Hey, do you like Guitar Hero or Beat Mania? Here, fucking play any Bomani game. Here it is. You can follow that input. You can do the combo.
Trying to do like SF4 and SF5 trials that was like link heavy, and some of them are, let's say it's a 5-frame link, right? Like that's like not hard, but it's not free, right? Because you need to know when you're doing it. But it's not a link. It's actually a delay. But the fucking input list doesn't say it's a delay. And so it was the same thing every time. I'd do them okay, and then I get to one fucking combo, and I'd be like, I don't know when the fuck I'm supposed to hit this button.
Exactly. And then
you'd look at a YouTube video, and it's like, well, actually, you have to do a micro walk and then hit the button. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that from this fucking button notation?
Yeah. Also, the button notation might be giving you the move names. Instead, you got to go pause and switch that over. Also, to find out the solution, you don't have to go to YouTube all the time, but you pause and view replay, and then the replay will show you what's happening. Also, let's say you position badly because you fuck up the first attempt, then suddenly you move further to the side, and you're not in the same starting position you're supposed to be in. So then when you're doing a jump in, you don't realize that it's supposed to be a neutral jump as opposed to a forward jump. And then you walk them to the corner, and then it's like, wait, this combo's meant to be for the corner or not for the corner, but I've repositioned the dummy. And it's so fucking just all these little things, you know, that are like, no, we don't need any of this. You don't need to do any of this. You can just have the position set and then rhythm game note chart. It's so fucking brilliant. So when you end up, yeah, and then you know, when you talk, it's interesting because you mentioned like, oh, some games come up with their own half solutions and things, and it's like, yeah, there were, right? For example, Under Night does I believe it does a beep system, so that when you're kind of doing the trial and like the demonstration, you hear like a beep, 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 beep.
Okay, yeah,
beep.
okay, that's better.
And that's good, right? It's better than nothing. It's a nice little like rhythm assist. You get a metronome to help you with your combo. That is much more helpful than not having that at all. BlazBlue.
Why did you just say BlazBlue?
Excuse me, BlazBlue has that.
Who cares? I'm doing finger guns right now because I took it to you, BlazBlue fans. Fight the power.
So the little beeps are a nice little half solution, right? But this is it. The note chart, the rhythm note chart, it's gonna, you know, it would take you some time. You'd have to program it. You'd have to set it up, and it would, you know, it's not a priority feature. But that is the definitive answer to this problem and to teaching people how to do combos and how to solve that. This is it. You don't have to half-step it anymore. Anyone who wants to make combo trials better just has to do what Combo Babies did. But who the fuck is going to do that?
Oh, good old Combo Babies.
You know? And then, you know, and I mean, and then there's, like, I understand when, to reiterate, like, let's say, you know, remember when Guilty Gear Accent Core got updated the other day? It got rollback. And then when it got rollback, it also got a really sick feature, which is replay interruption, where you can watch a replay and then stop it where you want and take control of the replay.
Right.
Awesome. Unbelievable, unexpected feature. Holy shit. Right. And the nature of the code in the game allows them to do this. And I don't think every other fighting game can implement that. If they could, it would be great.
It seems hard.
It does. Even because, and you know what, even rewinding is hard because a lot of fighting game replay systems are just input recordings, right? So it's an input recorder that will start round one, fight, and then it plays out the recorded inputs. But if you have to rewind, it doesn't always keep positional information. It just knows to play out a normal game in forward moving regular pace time. And you can fast forward the inputs and fast forward all of that, but to rewind and go backwards, it's not really planned for that because it's actually playing a live match, allowing you while dropping the inputs in. So you understand that, right? But this is one of those times where like they came up with an amazing feature that, you know, just happens to work here. I'm not going to ask that every new fighting game has a replay interruption system. It would be amazing if it did.
You should ask that.
It'd be amazing if it did. But like it seems something that seems like something that was like a fucking just a miracle feature born from the work they were doing with rollback. But something like this, combo notation, rhythm input, you know, style, and just simple resets, simple ways to learn, quickly displaying the move, like just things like that. I'm like, man, this little indie game fucking killing it with the quality of life. So here's another one that we have where it'll be ignored forever until it eventually isn't, and it'll take a long time for, you know, bigger games to notice that this was a thing and to start implementing it. You know, I really, it hurts so much in this genre how little other games copy each other's homework.
No, don't worry, you'll never see this thing again, ever. Ever.
Well, the thing is some studios are more likely than others to implement them, usually Western ones, right? Them's Fighting Herds might implement something like this because they actually do that kind of shit, right? If KI was still being developed, they might implement something like this. But, you know, the Guilty Gears and the Street Fighters of the world, probably not. Sadly, it's just not in the cards. It's not in the list of quality of life features. And there's bigger fish to fry. There's bigger things to tackle and to fix, like getting the press start screen to go from 3 minutes to 45 seconds. So anyway, Combo Babies, fun little indie fighter, fantastic feature set for quality of life, and I'm gonna be pointing to it, and then people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is Combo Babies?" And it's gonna be like a game that you should go take some lessons from.
You got the Combo Babies shirt on during your next interview with like Harada or something. And you're like, when are you going to step up to Combo Babies? And then he gets mad and fights you.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Just the mishmash, The online salt mines from Dems Fighting Herds, the monthly killer bracket system for online from Killer Instinct,
Well, Woolie, listen, you see, the neural net of the super AI force in Tekken 8 will teach you the combos naturally.
Sure. And the various other features that I've put out into the ether for free, such as shaming you for your lack of reversals when the time was right, or for your wake up supers when the time was wrong, and telling you what you fucked up. Anyway, no, I think like it's all out there in a way right now where it's like, man, if someone cared to just bring all of this together into one package, and at this point, it clearly feels like developers that are working on these games always have more important things to work on, which I understand. If there's like crashes, if there's major B class or A class issues, then why would you want to dedicate time to some C class polish, But if someone on the team was a dedicated polish person, that basically was just there to make the whole thing feel better, it would overall be a much more inviting experience. You
know what the fighting game genre is? I'm listening to you say, man, if somebody could put all this into a package, and this mind bomb went off in my head. I'm like, it's going to happen that there will be a game that takes all of these things together, and it's going to go all into a package, and it's going to be Arcana Heart 4, Let's All Go to the Beach. And no one will play it. And you'll be like, no, it has all the features. And everyone's going to be like, no.
No, the combos are... The combos are displayed rhythmically. You just have to ignore the upskirt system. The upskirt burst system. Just ignore that. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
You used Them's Fighting Herds a little bit ago as an example because the online salt mine's like a really cool thing. And there is like a majority of fighting game players, particularly casual fighting game players, who will look at that and it could be the second coming of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. They're not going to play it.
I mean, I love that you mentioned Arcana Heart specifically, because that game and Aquapazza were the ones where we were sat down by like good players, like big fucking like real, I remember Arturo Sanchez came and he was like, "Nah, you guys don't understand. This game's systems are so sick," and we're just like, "Art, I hear you, but I can't do it, man."
There's the famous thing where we did the fisticuffs. I'm like, "Oh wait, there's like a real fighting game here."
Yes.
And so I'm downloading it, and I get caught downloading Arcana Heart, and you laugh as hard as I've ever seen you in your life. I never booted the game up. Because I'm like, what am I fucking doing? I got to get this thing off my hard drive.
It's so, that's it. It's just, there's just, it's all going to come together, but the person's going to just decide to go that route on it. And there's,